One of the most significant announcements in this budget is definitely the commitment and reaffirmation by the Finance Minister that GST will be introduced from 1st of April 2016. It would have been much more better had he spelled out a time-bound action plan running up to the introduction of GST from 1st of April 2016. However, given the current circumstances, I think whatever may be those signals which is left out in this budget, which is actually consolidating the tax arena, indirect tax arena, for welcoming GST is evident in the draft. For example, now he has announced that all the supplementary taxes such as education cess and higher education cess will be abolished, and he's also increased the service tax rate from 12.36% to 14%. And it is understandable that in a proposed GST regime, the service tax rate would be anything between 16 to 18%. So rather than giving a single dose of steep increase, it makes a logical sense to increase that in a face-to-face basis. So increasing the service tax from 12.36% to 14% is again a step towards GST. And they have slew of rationalization measures, rationalizing the exemptions, service and VAT credit rules, etc. is also announced. So there is action happening on the ground for preparation of GST, introduction of GST. So that's a welcome step. And more than that, it is also important that giving some groundwork for the Make in India campaign is very much required under the current circumstances. So GST, introduction of GST would be one of the such steps which would help Make in India campaign, because the manufacturing sector will have an upside of almost about 6 to 8% reduced taxes as per the proposed GST regime. And similarly, there are so many other issues which is addressed here. One of the measures which I can point out is the devolution of the tax revenue. The Finance Minister stated that from the total revenue, 62% of the revenue, including the total tax collected by the central government and the state government, is given to the state governments for deploying in their own development. That's a welcome step. So if almost about 12 to 15% more revenue is devolved to the state as compared to last year, it is natural that the fund available to the government for investing into infrastructure project or whatever will be also reduced to that extent. So it will be a joint responsibility of the government, the state government as well as the central government, to see that the development of the country is through a participation between the state and central government. And again, there are so many other measures which is reflected in this budget. For example, now abolition of SAD in the case of ITA bound items, which essentially addressing the inverted duty structure which has been represented. And there are also some of the rationalization of the penal provisions, where if you pay the penalty, if you pay the tax and the interest within 30 days from the notice, then you don't have to pay any penalty. And also that there are options for you to also appeal in such cases if you pay a part of the penalty. And indeed, it could have been a little more pronounced and a little more broad in terms of the amendments which is suggested, especially addressing those concerns such as the pending litigations, how to resolve that, how to have a speedy disposal of the pending litigation, etc., which the corporate would have wanted. So in any case, overall, if you look at with whatever may be those proposed investment in the infrastructure, in the rural development, in the case of for promoting a digital India and tax administration, I would say that the budget is fairly a good budget. Thank you.